Well, ladies and gentlemen, here we are again. It's been a while. NFL Mock Draft 2.0. We are in prime time of mock draft season, prime time of draft season. I made one a while back, probably middle of the season, kind of just free ball that they're looking at top prospects. But now we know a lot more. We've got our analysis down. Let's jump into it. I would use PFF, but they're a bunch of sleazy douchebags who want to just make revenue off subscriptions and can't use ad revenue apparently. So we're on NFLMockDraftDatabase.com. It was the best one I could find that could give me free trades as well. So we're gonna select all here. I got all the settings right. Enter the draft room. Here we go. I didn't do any pre-drafts. This is raw. This is unfiltered. Here we go. So if you don't like any of my picks, oh well. We're gonna jump into this though. This is what I think is gonna happen. This is what I see happening. Most realistic setting. Here we go. Start. Boom. Carolina Panthers on the clock, and now let's give some talk before the pick. Bryce Young has jumped all the way up in the Vegas odds as the heavy favorite for number one. I'm gonna believe Vegas here. Bryce Young is the quarterback for the Carolina Panthers. They traded up with the Bears. They want their franchise guy. They're going to go with Mini Mahomes, as some would call him, Bryce Young. Yeah, he's the consensus number one quarterback. So we'll see how it pans out for Carolina if this happens, which I really think this is the most likely. Number two, Houston. Now here's where it gets interesting. It's already interesting at number two. The Texans have, I think they were set on Bryce Young. They thought the Panthers were going to take Stroud, but now they're sitting in a weird spot. Teams are going to call them about this pick, but I think they're going to stick here at number two. I think they're going to stick. They have another pick at 12. We'll get to that here in a second. But they have another pick at 12, and I think they're going to take an ace defensive player, the best one in the draft, Will Anderson. Boom, number two. Off to the Texans. Now, here we go. This is where the trade comes in. The Tennessee Titans, they want their franchise guy bad. They need him. They need him real bad. Hold on, let me get this straight here. It was so much easier on PFF. Number three pick, we're going down to the Titans, Tennessee. They're going to trade away the 11th pick for the third. Also add in a 2024 first and a 2024 second. This says too much. I think that's about right. Taking a look at the Bears haul they got from the Panthers to trade back to 9. It was a little bit more picks along with DJ Moore, but this is the third pick. So a little less value. I think this is about right though. They might add in Jeffrey Simmons or a player instead of that second round pick. Who knows? But this is going to be it. Boom. The Titans are on the clock, and they are going to take C.J. Stroud, the franchise man out of Ohio State. Boom. And now the Colts are in a weird position. Their division rival just jumped up for the stud quarterback. But they have Anthony Richardson sitting right there for them. The generational talent, the all-time, according to, stats, next-gen stats, the all-time best rated quarterback performance in the combine next to Robert Griffin III. Anthony Richardson off the board to Indianapolis. Now we're at number 5. Now this is where it gets interesting. This is where a lot of players could, fall here to the Seahawks. Jalen Carter, I think it's obvious they're going to go defense here. Jalen Carter, Tyree Wilson, they could go corner. But I think they're going to go with Tyree Wilson here at number 5. Jalen Carter, there's question marks with him, with his character. He came into the pro day overweight from the combine. I don't think Pete Carroll is going to take a risk on that guy, but you know who is? Dan Campbell at number 6. Jalen Carter off the board to the Lions. I feel like Dan Campbell really feels like he can, fix up Jalen Carter per se and, put him in that system, and he could be a future Hall of Famer from what it looks like on tape. But anyway, Jalen Carter off the board to Detroit. Now Vegas, there's talk about quarterback. In my opinion, it's not going to happen. They just signed Jimmy G. I believe they feel they can win with him. Jimmy Garoppolo, Devontae Adams, they've got a great receiving core surrounding him. And now, They need a blue chip guy. Christian Gonzalez is sitting right there for them at number 7. They need help everywhere on defense. Why not get some coverage? Christian Gonzalez is a freak in his vitals. Boom. Christian Gonzalez off the board to Las Vegas. Now, Atlanta. They love their combine studs. We're going to go with kind of a reach here, but I think who knows? Nolan Smith off the board to Atlanta. Amazing 40 time. He was a great edge rusher at Georgia. What more needs to be said? In my opinion, that's what's going to happen. Anyway, number 9 to Chicago. They might trade out of this pick. They might not. I'm going to take a look here and look at these teams. Number 19. Will Levis? Do the Buccaneers eye Will Levis and trade up? I don't know. There's a lot. But I think the Bears are going to stick here. And, if they do stick here, I feel like this name is going to be too hard for them to pass up. It's not Bijan Robinson, but it's Jackson Smith and Jigba. They have expiring contracts on the wide receiver end. Jackson Smith and Jigba sitting right there. Give Fields more weapons. Fields wants him. Listen to your QB. There we go. The first wide receiver off the board. Now the Eagles, I think this is going to become more in the light throughout, the draft process. Bijan Robinson is going to the Eagles at number 10. Write it up. Now the Cardinals. Back at 11, they've got a haul from the Titans. They need to revamp this defense, and I'm going to go with Myles Murphy for them, the solidified stud from Clemson at the edge rusher. They could have went or depending on if the Texans take him, Will Anderson may have been sitting pretty for them, but, they're going to get possibly just as good of an edge rusher. We'll see how he pans out. Myles Murphy at 11. And now things may have played out well in the Texans' favor. Will Levis is still sitting here at number 12. And I think they take him if he's sitting there. The two Wills, Will Anderson, Will Levis, pick 12. The Texans are going to grab Will Levis. And now the Jets are on the clock. They need offensive line help. It's very obvious. Aaron Rodgers probably coming in. I'm going to go with Broderick Jones from Georgia. Left tackle, just a solidified stud. And now the Patriots are on the clock. Peter Skoronski, Paris Johnson Jr. still sitting there. I think they're going to go line here. Protect Mac Jones. Give him everything you can to succeed. It's probably not going to work out with Mac Jones in New England, but we'll give him what we got. Darnell Wright at right tackle. We're going to go. He's jumping Peter Skoronski and Paris Johnson. Number 14. There we go. Green Bay Packers are on the clock. Jordan Love era intact after Aaron Rodgers gets traded. We'll give him a weapon, a kind of a weapon who can do everything. Michael Mayer, pick 15. Boom. There we go. And now Washington is on the clock. I feel as if there could be a trade. I don't know. Maybe I'm just talking. Let's see. Who needs it? There's Hendon Hooker. This is the one weird prospect. He could go top 15. He could go all the, third round. Who knows? But I've heard, murmuring around the league that he is jumped in the QB rankings on people's boards, et cetera, et cetera. I don't think the Commanders are going to trade back here. Devin Witherspoon is sitting pretty here at number 16 for Washington. I think he probably won't fall this far, but if he's sitting there at number 16, they're not going to pass up on him. So here we go. The first half of the first round. Number 1, Bryce Young. Anderson 2. We're not going to name all of them, but we can look. I was not about to name 16 players in a row. Come on. But yeah, Stroud, Anderson, or Richardson, Wilson, Carter. This is the first half of the first round. I like it. It looks good. Except Witherspoon, falling like crazy. Anyway, Pittsburgh Steelers are on the clock. Pickett needs line help. He does need that line help. Paris Johnson Jr. sitting pretty. Skoronski with his short arms. Not a surefire bet here. I don't think he's going to go. I think they're going to go with Paris Johnson Jr. At number 17. Detroit back on the clock after taking Jalen Carter, and they also need cornerback help. Joey Porter Jr. sitting right there pretty for them. Boom. Oops, there we go. Tampa Bay. They kind of need everything. They're going to stick with Baker Mayfield as the bridge quarterback. I don't think they're going to take Hendon Hooker. But, let's get him a stud. Lucas Van Ness didn't really necessarily start at Iowa, but, he played and, put up stats. But he's a great prospect all around, great pro day, great combine, et cetera, Lucas Van Ness to the Buccaneers. Seattle back on the clock again, and they're kind of like the Lions. They need interior, but also cornerback. We're going to go back to cornerback here. Deonte Banks sitting right there at 22nd best ranked prospect, stud at Maryland. Boom, he goes off the board to Seattle. Now the Chargers, they need a receiver. They need more, weaponry for Justin Herbert. I think Jordan Addison is the guy here. Great route runner. They have Keenan Allen, who's they go up and get a guy. Now they need the route runner in Jordan Addison. Mike Williams is also in there, but Jordan Addison can play the slot. Boom. Baltimore now on the clock. Let's see what we got here. They need kind of safety help, in my opinion. Brian Branch isn't a bad pick here. It's a question mark with Lamar Jackson's status. Also a question mark at the receiving core. Odell Beckham, Rashad Bateman, Mark Andrews. I think that'll get it done for them this year. But, Peter Skoronski's sitting there as well. This doesn't really – these team needs over here, it's kind of naming every damn position, so it's not helping me at all. We're going to go safety here. Brian Branch out of Alabama, by far, according to these rankings at least, by far the best safety in the draft class for sure. We're going to go Brian Branch there for Baltimore. Pick number 23, Minnesota. They need secondary help as well. I'm going to go Emmanuel Forbes for them out of Mississippi State. It was very, what's the word? It was very obvious that they needed secondary help there in times of the season. They had a wonderful regular season, the wonderful offense, but they need help on the secondary for sure. And I think that's Vikings fans would definitely agree with me. Jacksonville, the team to turn, everything around. Peter Skoronski is sitting right there for him, and they're going to take him. They need Trevor Lawrence to be protected from every bad man that wants to get him. And, Cam Robinson was signed on a franchise tag last year, so they went and drafted Trayvon Walker. Still a questionable pick, but we'll see how it pans out for them. Giants at number 25, and this is where I think Quinn Johnson and Zay Flowers. Quinn Johnson is falling in. We're going to go Zay Flowers for them. They're going to draft a receiver. I think it's quite obvious. Daniel Jones needs weapons besides Saquon, and, that's all I can name right now. Anyway, Dallas. At pick 26, they need linebacker help. You got Trenton Simpson, Drew Sanders, not the best linebacking core per se, but there's, guys out here like Dalton Kincaid just sitting here at pick 26. I think Dalton Kincaid is going to be their pick if he's there. I just can't see teams shooting for a tight end, in the middle of the round. I just can't see it, in my opinion. Maybe, Michael Mayer. I could see one, Michael Mayer being the exception. But Kincaid and Michael Mayer, kind of different players, but Mayer does more of he kind of can do everything, more of the blocking. Kincaid, more of a route runner, tight end type deal. So I just can't. I believe these tight ends are going to fall. I just believe that's going to happen. Anyway, Buffalo on the clock again. It says they need interior offensive line. This is one... they need running back too. Jahmyr Gibbs is sitting right there and pretty for them. I'm going to go Gibbs there at pick 27. The Bengals on the clock, and they need tight end. They actually do need tight end. Darnell Washington sitting right there for them. Combine stud, if you saw the one-handed grab, the leaping ability, the 40-yard dash, etc. Darnell Washington out of Georgia. A lot of Georgia studs leaving the first round. Anyway, Panthers on the clock again, and Kalijah Kancey is sitting right there for them. Defensive interior, Kancey probably won't drop this far, but for draft's sake and what I see everyone picking, he's going to. So Kalijah Kancey off the board to New Orleans. Philadelphia Eagles, somehow after making the Super Bowl, they have 2 first-round picks. Edge rusher Will McDonald out of Iowa State. Boom. They get Bijan and a solidified edge rusher. So, yeah, that's what I believe is going to happen for the Eagles. Kansas City Chiefs, Adabare, they need edge rushers. But I could also see them going receiver. If Quentin Johnson drops this far, you bet your ass the Chiefs are going to go get him. Quentin Johnson at pick 31. And now, kind of technically, still first round, pick 32. The Steelers back on the clock again. Brian Bracey, they're going to get trench help. Boom. And that's the whole first round. And that's all we're doing. Anyway, I will put up a results of my mock draft. I only made one trade. I believe there's going to be more trades to be happened, probably for a quarterback. We'll see how that goes. Anyway, this is the Drake's Corner edition of the NFL Mock Draft. Comment your opinions. Comment what I did wrong. I would love to hear it. Sarcasm. I'm kidding. Anyway, tell me what I did wrong. Tell me what you liked. And, that will cover it for the Drake's Corner edition of the NFL Mock Draft 2.0 with trades. I like it. I'm looking over my picks and just, dissecting them in my head. Anyway, I will see you guys next time. Peace.